So you might recognize this awesome room from Halo 3, and inside this glass chamber is what is called a Forerunner projection array. And I've always wondered, is it possible to get in this room solo? Let's give it a shot! So in another example of Bungie's amazing game design, they made this entire area on the mission the Ark as you're descending towards the end of the mission completely glass. You can see through the steps and you can see into this chamber array room. But obviously they put a glass barrier to prevent you from getting into this room. However, I had the most basic and simple idea to penetrate this by myself. I figured if I could get enough vehicles in this area, I could stack them on top of each other, and then I could probably use a ghost under all of them to clip right through the wall. But doing this solo adds a layer of difficulty, a time-based layer of difficulty. Once 343 Guilty Spark opens the door after you destroy the Scarab, you only have about 20 to 30 seconds of that door being open. So my plan was to get at least 5 vehicles outside of this door so that I could quickly drive them in one by one for later. But the first step in that is procuring all of these vehicles. So I would have to get at least 2 Warthogs, 2 Choppers, and 1 Ghost. Okay. Did he just step on me? Only me? So I got every vehicle minus the Ghost lined up outside the door relatively smoothly. Now, because I was doing this myself, I was planning on getting a checkpoint after killing the Scarab. To do this, I parked my Ghost just off the back edge of the Scarab. This way, I could destroy the core, immediately get in the Ghost, and boost all the way up to the door, and by the time I was at the door, I would likely get a checkpoint. And luckily, everything was going smoothly because just this happened. But now, I would need to make sure that I got all 5 of these vehicles in the next room before 343 Guilty Spark closes the door behind us, which, like I mentioned earlier, is about 20 to 30 seconds of time. So I gotta rush. So notoriously, it takes forever for 343 Guilty Spark to open this door, but after he finally did, I had a quick pit stop because I realized, hey, I had all the vehicles that I needed to clip through a wall, and there was a door that I'd always wondered what was behind it. Opposite of the door that leads to the hallway that progresses you through the mission is another door that's just sitting there locked. Is there even anything behind this door? Is it just empty space? If you do clip through it, what happens? So, in order to practice my clipping a little bit before I took all of these vehicles down the narrow hallways, I lined up a Ghost along the crack of this door. Then I just needed to figure out some sort of orientation to park a bunch of vehicles on top of this so that the closest open space once I got out of this Ghost was the room, well, hopefully, on the other side of this door. Whoa! Whoa! The door opens if you get in? What the hell? Hey, it's a small little room, but that was cool as hell, dude. Well, hell's not cool. It was cool as heaven, bro. Does it say perma open? Now I'm kind of scared. Probably should not have thrown a spike grenade. Did I hear a brute? That's crazy. You open the door, it perma opens for you. Or if you get through in the room. Hey, your door's backwards, guys. Also, there's no way to unlock it because there's nothing in here. So now that I successfully explored that room for the first time, I was ready to get on to our real trick. Now, I had to take all of the vehicles through all of the narrow hallway to get into this glass chamber staircase, But now I had a conundrum. There wasn't that much space in this hallway, and the ramp was slanted, so I didn't know if that was going to affect my ability to clip. I knew it would affect my ability to get vehicles on top of the Ghost, but now I would have to figure out how to orient all these vehicles in a position on top of the Ghost while navigating with essentially no space. Dude, I can't even turn because of the freaking wall. Bro, really? So initially I had the thought that I would set the vehicles up on top of the Ghost on the flat surface towards the top of the ramp just outside of the door. However, I very quickly found that, yeah, like I thought, there was no space for me to be able to do it right here. So I was going to have to do it on the slanted ramp. This is not going to work. Yes! There we f***ing go. I got an automatic checkpoint. Yes! I've always wanted to get into this room. Ah, that's awesome. Because there's a hidden room down here. And a smear wall. But did you know there is a tiny little room down here? For whatever reason, there is crates with spikers. Even though you can't get in this room at all. By design. Isn't that fascinating? They developed entire areas, secret little cute areas. You would never know this exists. Can you even see this from up there? What the f... There's a fight scene outside of this window? Yo, come back. I need to see that again. What was just fighting? I'm not going crazy. I did just see that. Yo, I just saw that. What's the... Am I going crazy? I just saw like a hornet and a banshee or something fighting through this window. And I can't see it again. Yo, I feel like I'm going crazy. No. Yes, there's definitely fighting. What is it, though? It's only at this angle. Hornet and a banshee, maybe? If you go over here, they stop fighting. What are they? I don't understand what they were planning on doing in this room, but they should have done whatever they were thinking. Because this is so cool. It is again. This is like actual cut content that they just hid in the game. But if you go too close to it, they literally will stop. You can't see it anymore. you can see that light, then you can see the battle. That light up there. So I don't know if they put crates in this room just to give it an effect if you were to look down through the glass while you were walking by, but there's this large open panel that looks like it should be a door that has weird effects. It'll smear like in the original Halo 3 on Xbox 360 when you stand in front of it or beat down, but throwing grenades at it has a pretty cool effect as well. Now I realized that the fighting outside the windows are the Banshees and the Hornets fighting outside of the final platform of this mission, the ones that are way in the background. Now why can you see them through these windows but nothing else, and why can you only see them from certain angles, and why is there a giant white door down here? I have no idea, but if you have a clue, let everyone know in the comments below. Alright guys, thank you. Hype the video. Bye.